Good evening and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. This evening, I want to go through something with you. We want to have a closer look at something I spoke about a few days ago. Before I go ahead, I want to show you the words that I wrote there. In fact, I think they're very important words. Let me just make this smaller. Can we make that smaller? Okay, why not make it? Let me do this. I want to do something first. I want you to be able to see the writing. That's why I'm doing that. It says here, Isarun, the home of the 13,000-year-old Yoruba skull in Iho Eleru, is called Iho Eleru. And of course, I say Yoruba Nation now, Citizen AY. So I wanted to just say that before we go ahead. Now, let's go big. Now, I'll be showing you some pictures, but I want you to have this it's important to have that. That's the size. That's the skull that they found. And I'm going to give you some details about that. There are some archaeological work that was done by something Thor. So let's go into it. This program is going to just go into detail about that, and I will reference it with the write-up by the Oba of the town in terms of that they actually was Yoruba and all of that too. We'll bring it together so we can then do this and you can share this video with people. I'm hoping I don't want to make it too long so that it can be something that people at home can read and look at. And for those of us in diaspora, this is something that we should really look into. So without much of ado, let's just get on with it now and do that. So now we're going to minimize this one and then, here we are. Hello, sorry. Okay, let's get this done. Nope, that one. Okay, so that's the picture. That is where they found it, is there. You see there? Let me blow that up. They found the skulls it's not actually Iwo, it's Iwo Eleru. No, it is Iho Eleru, the cave of ashes. The cave of ashes. And I'll try and write that down actually. It should be the cave of ashes. When I write the words, you will say it. So zoom out. Okay. So you can see that there's no doubt it is in Yoruba land. 100%. You can see that? And that's a skull that they found. Now we're going to do some write-up. And this was excavated by archaeologists. Now let's zoom back out. Okay, now we're going to try and change the aspect now. We've gone into there. So now we're going to look at the story itself. So it's not in Nigeria. We're not, as far as we're concerned, Nigeria is a contraption. We're talking about Yoruba Nation. From the point of view of this broadcast, every time you look at that, you need to look at it from the point of view of Yoruba Nation. Very important. Now, okay, so let's go and look at what they did. The skull was first found in 1922 from wall accounts, from what they've said. But let me just see if I can get some work done. So it says, map of Nigeria showing the geographic location of the Iho Eleru rock shelter and the Iho Eleru Calvaria, clockwise from top left. Frontal, ventral, and superior views. So those are the views. Frontal, ventral, and superior views. So now let's go a little bit more detail. Is that the one? Yeah. Now let's go into more detail. So now I want to try and see if I can find a bit more information about it. File history. 1 second, please. I'm just going the wrong way. No, I think I'm going to step back out of that. No. Now. So let me just see what they wrote in the article. Let's see what the article says. Just trying to give you some, Now it talks about, this is some sort of walk or something. Let me see. Okay. I'm trying to see what it, okay. Now, I want to just, this is the work that they've done. It's important to look at this. So the later Stone Age Cavaria from Iho Eleru is not Iwo, it's Iho Eleru, Nigeria Morphology and Chronology. So now I'm just giving you, these are the things that you can find, and we're just looking into it. So I'm just giving you a bit more info, in-depth knowledge about the skull. So it says here, in recent years, the later Stone Age has been redated to a much deeper time in depth than previously thought. At the same time, human beings remain from this time period are scarce in Africa and even rarer in West Africa. The Iho, I'll keep reminding you, it's Iho Eleru. Boreal is one of the few human skeletal remains associated with later Stone Age artifacts in the region with a proposed Pleistocene date. We understood the morphometric reanalysis of this cranium in order to better. We undertook a morphometric reanalysis of this cranium in order to better assess its affinities. We conducted uranium series dating to re-evaluate its chronology. Methodology of principal findings. The 3D geometric morphometric analysis of the cranial landmarks and the semi-landmarks was conducted using a large comparative fossil and modern human sample. The measurements were collected in the form of three-dimensional coordinates and processed using generalized proscutes analysis, principal components, canonical varieties, Mahalanobis D2, and proscutes distance analysis were performed. The results were further visualized by comparing specimen and mean configurations. Results point to a morphological similarity with the late archaic African specimen dating the late Pleistocene. A large bone cortical fragment was made available for U-series analysis in order to redate the specimen. The results, 1176.3 Ka, supports terminal Pleistocene chronology for the two Iho Eleru burial. For the Iho Eleru burial was also suggested by original radiocarbon dating results and stratigraphic evidence. Conclusions of our findings are in accordance with the suggestions of a deep population substructure in Africa and a complex evolutionary process for the origin of modern humans. They further highlight the dearth of hominin finds in West Africa and underscore our real lack of knowledge of human evolution in that region. Their words, not mine. It's there. Their words, not mine. So they know that they don't have the full knowledge. They can only surmise, but we've been living there for 13,000 years. In essence, that's what they're trying to say. They are confounded that they can find in the ashes a bone that's intact. The Iho Eleru burial was excavated from Iho Eleru rock shelter, southern western Nigeria, in 1965 by Thurston Shaw and his team. The skeleton preserves of a Cavaria mandible and some proscrutinal remains was found at depth of between 82 and 100 centimeters from the surface in an undisturbed late Stone Age, hereafter LSA context. Radiocarbon analysis of the charcoal from immediate vicinity in the burial resulted in an age estimated to be 11,200 plus 13,000 years, calibrated. The skull was reconstructed and studied by Brothwell, figure 1, and who linked it to recent West African populations, though he recognized that its lower vault and frontal profile were unusual and the mandible was robust. The specimen is complete along the entire midline, from the nasion to beyond opistocranion. Although it is slightly asymmetric, it shows no major distortions, and the relatively well-preserved mandible constrains its basal breadth. A preliminary multivariate analysis of the cranial measurements by Peter Andrews suggested that the Iho Eleru specimen was distinct from recent African groups. He's talking there. Really, that's another way to try and separate when they're saying that. They're trying to separate it from us. So to come up with some sort of saying, oh, it's not, but we all know that that is from our area, that we've been in existence there. So you don't suddenly have people there and then suddenly new people come in like just like that. So that's nonsense. A more extensive, so here we go, the map here, and of course don't forget it's in Iho Eleru in Ondo State. By the way, that's in Ondo State. A more extensive analysis of the cranial measurements. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm going to do that so you can see it. Sorry. A more extensive analysis of the cranial measurements of the original Iho Eleru specimen. I will say Iho Eleru because they say Iwo, which is spelled wrong. I suspect that when they asked somebody, how do you say it? And they said Iho Eleru, they had Iwo Eleru. So that's why it comes from, Anyway, was conducted by Chris Stringer, who included the cranium in an univariate, multivariate, canonical variate generalized distance analysis for his doctoral thesis. Coefficients and of separate determination of the cranial analysis using 17 of Howard's measured showed that the main discriminators from upper Paleolithic sample were low frontal subtens, low vertex rigidity, high cranial breadth, high bifrontal breadth, high cranial length, and low parietal substance. Against Neanderthals, they were primarily low supraorbital projection and low frontal fraction, high parietal chord, a high frontal chord, low frontal substance, and low vertex radius. While against Zucudian Homo erectus, they were low supraorbital projection, high parietal chord, high bifrontal breadth, high vertex radius, high frontal chord, and low frontal substance. Overall, it appeared that the cranium was modern in its low supraorbital projection and a long frontal parietal chord, but archaic in its high cranial length, low vertex radius, and low frontal or parietal substances. Stringer's result highlighted apparent archaic aspects in the specimen in its long and rather low cranial shape. Although the modern overall, it also resembled fossils such as Homo kibish. 2. And let's find out what that is. Sako Pastor. 1. Ngandong and several respects, falling closer to the upper Paleolithic recent samples in some analysis. Figure 2. We'll see figure 2. I wonder if you can see figure 2. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go through this. I'm gonna read the whole thing because it's really detailed. This is a detailed work here now. But what I'm in essence trying to say is, I just want to show you that it wasn't just now. They are making some comparisons here. So I'm not going to read through that. I'm just, it's a lot to read. I'm not an archaeology expert in that area. But in essence, what they're saying. So they were measuring the skull, and it's got the normal shape. It's not deformed. It's not anything in that way. So anyway, those of you who are archaeology experts, I'll pin the link to that work in there, so that you can have it. In fact, I'm going to do something. It's a journal. They write a lot of journals, obviously. So, and I want to make sure that you have that, information. So I'll put it with it, so you can go and read that. Those of you who are very, very keen and not understanding what all that means, and for the youngsters who may want to begin in, the knowledge of archaeology and all of that, this is a good place to start to explore your own ancestry that is 10,000 years old. Let me put it in context for you. Right now, they say to us that we are in 2021. That means that if we are in 2021, then they've got their dates wrong, and we should be. That means that the 2,000 years is a wrong figure, and we should actually be 13,000 years minimum. Could possibly be older. So, because when you date something, when you date the world and you say it's 2,000 years old and we are having the same calendar and all of that, it throws everything into a spin when this kind of find comes out and it gives you proper accurate dating. So, this is quite big. This is really big. It's 2021 we're in, 2,000 years, whereas that is 13,000 years. So that's 11,000 years older than the world. So already you can see that dating chronology that we have now is flawed. But let's put that to one side. I'm not going to go into that one. So I just wanted to just talk about this. Anyway, so you can read that. Now I'm going to pull away from that. I just wanted to just make a reference to this one briefly, and then we can then go. So that's the journal there, and you can talk about that, and we have it on record. So now, the next thing I want to do is now, there's something I saw. I hope I can find it. 1 minute, not that one. I want to just type in again. Yeah, let me just see what happens here. I should really be in bed, but description analysis. So discovery. Okay, so let's read their discovery. So now this is something, but that was a journal that we went into that's very big detail, a lot of detail. Now we're just going to just go over the top a little bit. So we've gone deep. Now we're coming back out just to get an overview for us. We're not that technical, but we know it. And it's about us, and I'm trying people get you to understand what's going on. The Eleru site was a large rock shelter in western. The Iho Eleru. It's not Iho Eleru. It's the cave of ashes. Site is a large rock shelter in western Nigeria. The skull was found in 1965 by Thurston Shaw. No, it wasn't found in 1965 by Thurston Shaw. No, that is another lie. You know why? Let's go back here. That's another lie right there. He may have done the archaeological work, but look at this. Look at this. Watch this. No, this one. Now, read this story, please. And I'm more inclined to believe the people. And I'm going to try and I hope I can bring it back out. Please, just don't do this now. Don't do this to me now. Please, don't do this to me now. Stop this page. Okay, good. Okay, now I want you to. This is where they found. This is the cave, by the way. I think this is the top shot coming from the way down, and they found the cave. They found it there. So now I want you to go and look at something. And again, there's more here. So now, the story says, this is what it says here. The Isarun cave was discovered by a native, simply identified as Obele, who was on a hunting expedition in 1922. Can you see that what the story, sometimes we have to check. Can you see that actually it exposes this thing that he found it in 1965? You don't. This is what we're talking about. The people of the place went in and they told us the Isarun cave was discovered. Let me do a little thing here. I'm going to just do something here. I wasn't going to, but I want to do it. Let me just go. Let me go here and go. No, not that one. I'm just going to do something. So let me go here. No, not that one. Okay. So. 1 minute. So let me just see. I just want to see what happens, because this is something that they are doing. They're very good at that. They're very good at this one. Okay. Now. Yep. Thank you, Chief Obele. So we have a lot of things. I'm going to try and show you more pictures. This is something I didn't see before. So we need to do, this is a much better view of it, and we need to do something. I didn't know all of this was in existence, but there's a lot of information which I will be sharing later on. But in the meantime, let's just say, good. Okay. So there's a lot of information which I want to share, but that confirms there's a name. It's actually Chief Obele. Chief Obele. So there was a chief who was a hunter. Now, from what I understand, so let's have a look. So that's the cave that they found the man. There is a better picture which I'm going to bring to you now, because the way they did the picture was not. Somebody visited it, and I'm going to show you that picture. I'm going to send you that picture, because these are things that we need to know of. I'm just going to quickly forward that, put that picture in, so you will see it come up in a minute. I'm sorry that when you're doing a lot of this research work, it sort of leads you into different things, and you're not quite sure, but this is quite important, pertinent, if you like, pertinent, shall we say. So I'm going to do this. Okay, now, oh goodness, man. I've got to be very careful with the next shot, because I'm not doing that. Let's see. What is it now? There. Okay. Okay, so now that is the entrance to the cave that you will see. I'm going to do something in the meantime. I'm just going to do this. Oh. Okay. I need to get something done, but it's not letting me do it. Why is that? Why is that? That is surely the cave face, isn't it? Okay, I can't do it now. I'm tired, I think. I guess I'm tired. But anyway, I will put the pictures in if I can. I'll try and put the pictures in. I might do pictures in. Actually, it might even be better with the pictures that I'm going to put in. So that will give you a bit more information. 1 second. Sorry. That's why I wasn't able to. That's it. Okay. 1 second, please. Okay. So now we're going to do something quickly. I'm just going to quickly get a picture down so that you will have that picture. It is always good to have that picture. So we're going to do this. Huh? Okay. Download. Okay. This may even be a better shot. Cave of Ashes. Cave of Ashes entrance. Iho Eleru. So, okay, so now, very good. Okay, save. Now, I want to just check something. Oh, yes, and I need to do one more thing, didn't I? Forgot, sorry. Sometimes you think and there's ideas and you think, oh, but then you suddenly realize, oh, I should do that as well. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to have that there. These are reference points. What I'm making here are reference points. So please do bear with me if it seems like, oh, it's not off on a tangent, no. But I'm just trying to, we can touch on it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring that up. Okay, good. So now we've got that up. So now, if that's not what we're recording, that's okay. What we're now going to do is bring you back in that way. So welcome back. Now, there is a further read somewhere here. Now, I'm going to piece things together. So suffice to say, this is a more recent one by the Punch newspaper. Is it Tribune? Beg your pardon. The Tribune newspaper. Says here, 13,000-year-old Iho Eleru. Let me just close that one because it's going to close. Inside Ondo's 13,000-year-old Cave of Ashes by Hakim by the Mosi 2018. So now it talks about the ashes, it talks about the cave. And I think that's a shot from the top, and they put the ashes there. So it talks about that. And it talks about, the reason I'm saying that is because, you see, they talked about here. When you read this, you will take this to be gospel truth. It says here, the skull was found in 1965 by Thurston Shaw. This guy here. they said, and his team among over 500,000 later stolen artifacts at the site. It was found as part of a skeleton that was buried with a thin covering of skeleton. The skeleton was excavated and encased in plaster, and skull was separated from the body from the rest of the body. So now, so let's go here. Now I'm gonna go back to this is just to give us a bit of the story. Now I'm gonna go back to an earlier period. Now, it said in here, the Isarun cave was discovered by a native simply as identified as Obele. Obele, I think is Obele, who was on a hunting expedition in 1922. He had rushed back home to inform the community leaders of his discovery. This was said to have led to a series of visits to the place, which is about 4 or 5 miles from the present Isarun. Now, speaking on the discovery of the cave, as she is known as the natives of Iho Eleru, the Asharu of Isarun land, Oba Joseph Adebobola Awoleyin, explained that the discovery of the cave laid to rest the argument that East Africa had been in existence before the West African forest was occupied. He said the research carried out by the group of English archaeologists led by Professor Thurston Shaw in 1965. So, it showed the forest fringe of West Africa had been occupied as far back as 9200 BC. Now, I want you to look at that line slowly. So you can see that this is plagiarism. This is plagiarism of the highest form. Now, in the story they're telling you here, which is the real one, that he is a professor. He didn't discover anything. He's an archaeologist. Now, when you go and look in Wikipedia, they say, what did they say again? They say he discovered it. You see, it says here, it was found. No, you didn't find it. No, you didn't find it because it says here. Now, here's one more thing I want to back up. These are the things. We need to start taking control of our own narrative. Let's get a better view. So this lady went back home. My visit to the ancient cave of ashes, Isarun. Ever heard of Cave of Ashes, Eleru, located in the thick forest of Isarun Ondo State? This was my destination last weekend, to go see for myself the historical cave that is said to have held evidence of the origin of human race. You had that. Let me make that bigger for you. The origins of human race. I must say that the entrance of the cave looks creepy. I was a bit scared of wild animals and sacred intuitions. But on the long run, I took a bold step and got closer. I particularly like the fact that entrance is open, unlike the entrance of the Esha cave in Ekiti State. Picture. So there we go. So that's the path to the cave. I think it's even in a worse state now, unfortunately. This was back in 1992, but I'm just showing you. And then that's the entrance to the cave that she was talking about. That was back in 1992. So that's the entrance to the cave there. Now let's see if there's anything more. I was excited to see the site because now it is centered on scientific discovery and archaeological research, and not just my myth or speculations. This is well known with most historical sites in Nigeria. Isarun is a very small town in Ondo State in Nigeria, about 24 kilometers from the state capital Akure. It's along Ilesha-Akure Expressway, just 5 minutes drive from neighboring town Igbaraoke. I can't say if this is a proper tourist center though, but it is a place for tourists who love to adventure walk like me to come to visit. The chills and strange vibe you get to go discover a new place should interest you. Pictures a bush cocoyam at the foot of the cave. So he's talking about this. That's the bush cocoyam. Okay. Isarun Junction. So read more. So I'm just showing you what she did. These are see. So the town is Isarun. So you can see that now. So we now we're building a picture now. What we're doing is we're building a picture, and it's so this is real. So when you're looking at when somebody takes the time to take a picture like this, and I want to thank the person who took that picture. They're doing a real great job for us, because now you're building a picture of that area. And this is in Yoruba land. A man 13,000 years old, his skull was found in Isarun, in the cave of ashes. Iho Eleru. That's what it means. Now, so the cave of ashes, dated as back as 9200 BC, was discovered in 1922 during a hunting expedition by one of the locals, Chief Obele. The name Obele comes up again. Can you see? The name Obele comes up again, who was later accorded the rediscovery of this cave. It was a long ride, walk, huddle, about 45 minutes to get to the site of the main town because of the bad road. Not motorable, especially during rainy season. My backman told me how exorbitant the fares would be if you attempt this during the rainy season. So, anyway, so that tells you. So that completely puts the idea. Any idea that Professor Thurston found this? No, he didn't. He didn't. It was found by Chief Obele. I think it is Obele. I think it's, I can only, which means a knife is hard, that kind of thing, and that's what it means. I think it means. I could be wrong. So, a tree along the road. This is how the bad the roads are. You see, and this is a cave. That's the cave here. The ancient ashes. So that's the cave there. My visit to the ancient cave of ashes. So it is 13,000 years old. It says there, do you know that the bones of as old as 10,000 years of men strange of the stone were discovered and excavated from here? It is one of the said skeleton of the remains of Homo sapien that was buried in a standing position carrying a pot. You see? So these are more information. So that's the, when they're going in there, that the lady, I'd like to speak to her actually. I'd like to speak to her. So now you see, you're getting a much better picture of what this is about. She took that picture. I bet she didn't think she would be, I mean, she'll be much older now. She took this in 1992. I remember going back and went to Olumo Rock around that time. I think it is, yeah. So there you go. So she's just gone back, and that's the entrance. And then she took some pictures, and there is the caves. So you see this one here, it says here, they published a research which again, so that is where that's what you see there, and that's where she is at the entrance of the cave, to the caves, and that's the ashes there. So that's the, so I can now you see this picture is really important, very important, because there's another place when you saw there, when you saw the picture here, you couldn't really quite make out what it is, but now looking at that and then looking at this, you can see there's quite a similarity. That's where she is. So it's the ashes there that she's touching, So I don't want to put the child there. I don't know. Sorry. Well, anyway, it's a public thing, but I'm not going to focus on that. So she's touching the ashes. These are really nice shots. These are really nice shots. Really nice shots. It was taken on by Naira. I think she posted it to Nairaland. She took it, but Nairaland covered it. And this is fantastic. I'd like to know her name. I don't know. Maybe I'll interview her. Omarino. Omaniro. Hey? Whoa. No, it's not the same. Okay, I thought it was somebody. Sorry, that name just sort of rang a bell, but never mind. No. So, okay. So, it is. So this is more proof. So you can see that it's a Chief Obele. I think it is Obele. I could be wrong. I think it's Obele. That means the knife is hard, sort of. So, but it is not Thurston who found it. He did the research on it, but he didn't find it. And that we need to debunk that. We need to debunk that thing about he discovered it. Because there are two different people in different areas that talked about the same name, Chief Obele. And that is likely to be the case, rather than somebody who's just come and then, did the archaeological dig. Very important to raise that. So anyway, put that to one side. The important thing that we want to look at here, on the basis of the charcoal remains that were found surrounding the skeleton, it was initially dated 92500 BC. However, it In 2011, the study conducted by Katrina Havati, Chris Stringer, and others, the dating was revised with the help of uranium thorium dating, and was suggested 11 to 16, a time span of 11.7 to 16. So they think it's 11.7 thousand years to 16.3 thousand years. Can you guys see? Hang on. Can you see at the top there? I want you to see. So it could be as old as 16,000 years, even more. It's even longer. Possibly. Can you see? These are, I don't know. I got a feeling I had to come in and do this for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes that it's just instinct that this drives this thing. And he said, just go and do this. And I just did. And now you're finding this out with me. Time span of 11.7 to 16.3 was suggested. So they must have probably picked the figure 13,000 in the middle. So it could be as old as 16,000 years. Who would have thought that, eh? Now, so you got the information here. And this is the beauty of what this is that you can see that this is dating 11.7 to 16.3 as in, years. Okay. Description, relatively long, all of, I've read that before. There's a place here. The upper face is missing except for a small collection of fragments. So, and have been identified during foramen based on what it survives. It's unlikely the upper face was large. The mandible is well developed. There's a bit that I wanted to look at. Anyway, this is all stories that you can look at. So the root, these are all, you can read through it, but I want to, it says here, the author of the study asserted that the dating of Iho Eleru man of the late Pleistocene implies that the transition to anatomical modernity in Africa was more complicated than previously thought, with late survival of archaic features and possibly deep population substructure in Africa during this time. So I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, so it was argued that Iho Eleru was an archaic hybrid or part of the relict archaic Homo population 2014. Christopher summarized that the three dominant expansion was atypical cranial shape. First, Iho Eleru was a hybrid or an archaic African population. Second, that Iho Eleru was a member of a relic archaic population that was replaced by more modern humans upon the onset of Holocene era. And the third was part of the population that diverged from the rest of North African populations during a time of acute hardiness in Sahara Desert, made it impassable until arrival of African humid period. These are all questionable. All we do know is that this is Yoruba man. Let's see what they said here. I want you to look at this. Now, we must take control of our own narrative. Listen to what the king said about this find. And that's, and I'm taking that. I'm taking the word of my king above anything else. Speaking on the discovery of the cave of ashes known as natives, to the people, to the locals, I don't like the word natives, as Iho Eleru, the Asharun of Asharun land, Oba Joseph Adebobola Awolayin explained that the discovery of the cave laid to rest the argument that East Africa had been in existence before West African forest was occupied. He said the research carried out, and that is exactly what this thing was going about. That that was what they were intimating here. But you can see that they are rapidly changing their mindset. So it says here, the research carried out by English archaeologists led by Professor Thurston Shaw in 1955 showed that the forest fringe of West Africa had been occupied as far back as 9200 BC. Exactly. So that thing there, the Wikipedia is full of deliberate misinformation at the very least. Now, according to Oba Awolayin, Shaw and his team conducted an intensive and extensive research on the exploration of the place where they excavated bones of Stone Age men in the cave. The findings of these men indicated that the person evacuated from some 11,200 years ago was alive, spoke the Yoruba language. You see, look at that. So they try to hide the facts, but of course we found the facts out. The findings of these men indicated that the person evacuated some 11,200 years ago, and I think it could even be older, certainly as far as 16,000 years ago. So 11,000, they said 13,000 years, okay, but it could have been even older, maybe even older still. But hey, maybe we haven't got the technology to actually get the precise dating, but it's pretty close, put it that way. So, relaying the history back, the history of the place, the traditional ruler said his forefathers lived on the hill known as Iloro before migration to the present abode. He explained that the occupants of the hill were predominantly farmers, while women engaged in the art of pottery known as Isha, and sold pot to the people of the area. The Isarun has been in existence before any other town in Yoruba land, but it was also known as Eloro. Our forefathers left the hills to visit Ile-Ife with many others to seek deities to be worshipped, while some of them stayed back in Ile-Ife, and settled in the. Let me just close that one. I don't want that. And settled where it's called Lagere today. Lagere became the deity we took from Ile-Ife. Some of the people headed to Agbado in present-day Ekiti, Ekiti State. Some of Owo Town and others to Mahin in the coastal community of the Ondo State. There are still, till today, as many as they have as Isarun title. There are still today as many as they have Isarun title or quarters in all of these places I have mentioned, he said. The ruler also added that when they came back from Ile-Ife, they decided to stay at their present abode when they found out that most of what they left behind had been destroyed, except the ashes used in producing the pots. They therefore called the new place Isarun, meaning the art of pottery has been destroyed. When asked about the bones exhibited from the place as reported by the English archaeologists, he said there were so many artifacts evacuated from the site, aside from human bones exhumed from the cave, such as pottery workings dating as far back as 1000 BC. Parts of the skeleton are kept in University of Ibadan and Owo Museum, while the cast of the skull was said to have been taken to London for research work. The findings of Shaw and his team bring Isarun to focus and earn the agrarian community a place in the global map. It was designated one of the tourist destinations in 1992. Hence why this was done. That's why she went in 2019. Actually, was it 2019? Let me just check when she went. The pictures look older than that. I could be wrong. Let me see. Let me just get this. I'm trying to get a picture. When was this taken? Okay, I'm trying to see the exact date. Beg your pardon. I will put one of the pictures of her at the entrance, and that will be quite interesting. So let me see. Visit something Sharon. BB pictures by BB Sharon. Yeah, BB Sharon. It says here. So BB Sharon came down here, but didn't say the name. But what time did she come? Oh, 15th of April 2019. Okay. So she went and actually came to see this. So this is in 2019. So beg your pardon, I thought it was 1992, but no. So it's 2019. So I rephrased that. Fallen tree on the road. So all of these things need to be improved to make it a tourist attraction. All of this, the pictures. I want to say big thank you to BB Sharon for the pictures, because we're able to use the pictures, and give you a more detailed view of what she saw. That's in the cave right there. So this is a bit more detailed. So I'm gonna, we will see. That is a good picture there. And maybe there's one more. Is there one more? Okay, that's the one that she's there. And then she's touching the soil. I don't know about that one. That's the sun. But anyway, I just want to, yes, this one. I quite like the look of this one, to be honest with you. And I will probably be doing something about that. But so let's, this is definitely the one. I think I've got it. So anyway, so now, so there we have Iho Eleru, and it is a tourist destination since 1992. Because of, and we need to these are the kind of things you can create jobs by doing this. Fix the roads. We have bitumen. We have, you can create jobs. You can create a booming economy. You know, the beginnings of man traced to Iho Eleru in Yoruba land. We are the beginning of mankind 13,000 years ago, possibly longer. So I mean, you can read this. I'll put all the links up afterwards. The problem is the roads are bad, as you can see in the picture. The government have made promises. Now they're talking about the administration making promises, and I'm not going to read all that because it's just what we're really focused on is the story itself. The story itself is far more important, and I want to thank the lady who took this picture. Really nice pictures, and yeah, it is quite yeah. So I'm going to do something with that. I'm just going to. So you'll be seeing this coming up, and yeah, let's have a look at this. So that's there, and now, yeah, this one. I quite like this, the way she's taking this picture. Really nice. So, okay. 1 minute. Let me just see if I can get this right. So yeah, look. I'm probably gonna leave it at that. Okay, I'll do one more. Okay. I want to show you those. I'll be putting that there, but you've seen it now. So you've now seen the picture. So that is Iho Eleru, and important thing to look at are the pictures, the diagrams are the most important thing to look at, I think, and understand that that's the picture there. That's what they've done. So that there, so you can see, it's not Iwo, it's Iho Eleru in Ondo State, and there it is right there, and that's the skull you can see there. So those are the skulls there. I think we'll stop here. Ladies and gentlemen, please do tell family and friends about this. Share this broadcast. We've gone into a lot of detail. We've put everything together now, to get a clear picture. We've been able to put together, and no, Thurston did not discover the bones. No, there was the skull. It was done by a local chief in 1922. That's the real story. And I will be stating that in the write-up so that people know. This is very important. It's a Chief Obele, I think it is. So I'll be writing that in the write-up. I'll make sure it comes out. Please, when you see this broadcast, please do share. This is a very important story. Bearing in mind that they say the world is about just 2,000 years old, 2021. We have a carbon dating that proves that Yoruba people have been in existence in Yoruba land for at least between 13 to 16,000 years minimum. You can quote me on that, and I've shown you the evidence. So with that said, I want to say thank you to you all. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. When you get this broadcast, please, of course, do share. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and goodbye.